Lines just to bring you up to date with relating to Brits caught up in this conflict. We're getting news from the Foreign Office telling us that the first British nationals have now left Gaza. Among those, we assume that we're able to make that crossing today. The statement is brief, but it says the first British nationals have crossed the Rafah border crossing from Gaza into Egypt. We know, of course, open for a very limited time today to allow some of those that are injured in Gaza to leave to get help in Egypt, but also foreign nationals able to now make that crossing across the border. The statement goes on to say we will continue to work with partners to ensure that the crossing is opened again, allowing vital aid, as we've discussed, into Gaza and for more foreign nationals to leave safely. The crossing will be open, they say, for a controlled and time-limited period to allow specific groups of foreign nationals and seriously wounded to leave. So that is, as far as that Rafah border crossing is concerned, a development there that the first British nationals have been among those able to leave the territory. But at the same time, of course, those Hamas attacks on Israel nearly 3 weeks ago has left many families still without answers as to what has happened to their loved ones. We now understand that 14 Britons have been killed in those Hamas attacks on Israel 3 weeks ago. So now putting a number on that at 14 Britons who have been killed in those attacks. 3 are still missing. So the wait goes on for the families of 3 Britons who are still missing, but 14 now confirmed dead. UK authorities, the statement reads, will work with Israeli authorities and others to establish what happened to them. So some answers insofar as knowing the fate of those 14 Britons, but as yet no detail about what happened to them. And for the other 3 who are still missing, no answers as yet. So those 2 lines regarding Brits caught up in this conflict in the Middle East. But of course, many families are now waiting at the Rafah crossing, just desperate to leave Gaza. Our special correspondent Fergal Keane is based in Jerusalem, but he's been working with freelance journalists inside Gaza who are filming for the BBC for them to tell their stories. Take a look.
Caught in the borderlands, the small space between war and peace. Because whatever is ahead has to be better than what is behind them. In this place of the list, the names of the lucky ones. That's if luck is having to flee your home, to say goodbye to family left behind under bombardment. Mona has an Australian passport. She told a BBC colleague of her anguish at leaving family behind.
I'm not happy at all. That's because I'm leaving my other part, my brothers and sisters, my whole family is still here. I wish, inshallah, Ya Rab, they all be in safe place. Situation is terrible there. It's very, very bad.
Many of those who can't get to Egypt are crowding into Gaza's hospitals, believing they might be safe there. They bring their wounded and their questions.
The patients ask me if they should go to the south, but the south is being bombed and the hospitals in the south are crowded. Or should they stay in Gaza? They ask me if they can stay in the hospital here, but it is also crowded, and we have no place for them. We do not know how we can treat them. We feel sorry for them because we can't provide them with any services, although the hospital is open.
Yazid Abu Nahel suffers from seizures made worse by the terrors of the war. This is the 3rd time his sister Tala has tried to get him across the border.
Every time the situation, when I believe it got to the worst, it just keeps getting worse. And then I don't know, it's like we're trying to survive. Like we're not sure we're gonna make it, but we're trying to do anything that we can to do to survive because I simply don't want to die at 24, basically.
We heard tonight they didn't make it out, but they'll try again tomorrow. They'll keep trying. Fergal Keane, BBC News, Jerusalem.